Odisha has 30 districts. Only one of them has a real fort built around a royal palace, still lived in by the family that built it. Welcome to Dhenkanal. This is the district that calls itself the Kailash of Odisha. After a hilltop temple, you reach by climbing 1,352 stone steps. It is also the district that gave India the youngest martyr of its freedom movement. A boatman's son who was just 12 years old, shot for refusing to help colonial forest guards cross a river at night. Sacred hills thick with wild elephants, a working fort palace with over 100 rooms, and bronze cast by hand the way it has been for centuries. This is everything you should know about Dhenkanal. Dhenkanal sits in central Odisha, roughly 62 kilometers from the state capital Bhubaneswar, along the Cuttack to Sambalpur highway and railway line. The nearest airport is Biju Patnaik International in Bhubaneswar, about 75 kilometers away. The district covers 4,452 square kilometers and as per the 2011 census is home to nearly 12 lakh people, with a literacy rate above 69%. Its terrain is a mix of fertile paddy plains, forested hills and river valleys. The Brahmani, one of Odisha's major rivers, flows past Dhenkanal town itself, fed by smaller streams like the Nandira. The district is bordered by Kendujhar to the north, Cuttack to the south, Jajpur to the east and Angul to the west, which means Dhenkanal sits almost at the geographic center of Odisha, a crossing point between the coastal plains and the western hills. The story of this district begins with a merger. In 1948, 5 princely states, Dhenkanal, Talcher, Atmalik, Pallahara, and Hindol, joined independent India, and together, their territories became this district. In 1993, Angul was carved out as a separate district, and Dhenkanal was left with the shape it has today. It is now organized into 3 subdivisions: Dhenkanal, Hindol, and Kamakhya-Nagar, split further into 8 blocks: Dhenkanal Sadar, Bhuban, Gondia, Hindol, Kamakhya-Nagar, Kankadahad, Udapada, and Parjang. The district headquarters is Dhenkanal town, which was once the capital of a princely state in its own right, and remains the district's largest town. Kamakhya-Nagar and Hindol, the 2 other subdivisional towns, each carry the name and identity of the smaller princely states that were folded into this larger district back in 1948. The name Dhenkanal is believed to come from Dhenka, a Savara tribal chief who ruled this land long before recorded history. The princely state itself was founded in 1530 by a chieftain named Hari Singh Vidyadhara, and his descendants ruled continuously for 418 years, through 17 successive rulers. Between 1850 and 1860, King Bhagirath Mahendra Bahadur built the Dhenkanal Palace, a genuine fort with ramparts and gates, holding more than 100 rooms inside, the only fort palace anywhere in Odisha. Then, in 1948, the last ruler, Raja Shankar Pratap Mahendra Bahadur, made history of a different kind. He became the very first princely ruler in all of Odisha to sign the merger with independent India, opening the door for the other states around him to follow. Within months, Talcher, Atmalik, Pallahara, and Hindol had all merged too, and the combined territory of those 5 princely states became the Dhenkanal district that exists on the map today. About 70% of Dhenkanal's people depend on farming, growing paddy across the river plains fed by the Brahmani. But what sets the district apart is its craft economy. Dhenkanal's artisans are known across India for Dhokra, the lost wax technique of casting bell metal and bronze figures, a skill passed down through generations of metal workers. Alongside Dhokra, local workshops turn out hornwork, straw craft, wood and stone carving, and delicate silver filigree, much of it sold to visitors who come through the palace grounds. These are not tourist novelties either. Dhokra casting here uses the same wax mold technique that has been traced back thousands of years across tribal India. And Dhenkanal remains one of the few places where it is still a full-time livelihood for entire families. And on the food side, one sweet has put the district on the map nationally: Magji Laddu, a rich confection made from buffalo milk cheese, sugar, and cardamom, which recently earned its own geographical indication tag, protecting it as a Dhenkanal original. Dhenkanal's year runs on its festival calendar. The biggest celebration is Gajalakshmi Puja, an 11-day festival honoring the goddess of wealth, beginning on Kumar Purnima and drawing worshippers from across the region. Kamakhya Nagar hosts a Dashera that has grown into one of the district's largest public events, while followers of the Mahima sect gather for 4 days at Joronda for the Magh Mela, a major spiritual fair. On Mahashivratri, the hill town around Kapilash comes alive for an all-night vigil known as Jagar Yatra. And in the town of Bhuban, farmers still race decorated bullocks for prizes each year, a tradition that has outlasted almost everything else around it. Temple food or Mahaprasad also shapes everyday cooking here, since so many households live in the shadow of one shrine or another and follow its kitchen traditions at home. For a district of its size, Dhenkanal has produced some genuinely remarkable names. The most extraordinary is Baji Rout, who was only 12 years old in 1938 when he refused to ferry a group of forest guards across the Brahmani river at night and was shot for it, becoming the youngest martyr of India's entire independence movement. Long before him, Brajanath Badajena, an 18th century court poet, wrote satire so sharp it is still studied as one of the finest works in Odia literature. And Sarangadhar Das, a freedom fighter and one of the first Odia engineers trained abroad, spent his life pushing for the industries that would later transform the state. Together, their stories span a poet, an engineer, and a martyr. 3 very different ways of shaping a place. Start at Kapilash, the Kailash of Odisha, a 12th century Shiva temple built by kings of the Ganga dynasty, standing 2,150 feet up a forested hill. You can reach it by climbing 1,352 stone steps or by a winding motorable road that circles the hill. That same forest is now a wildlife sanctuary spanning 130 square kilometers, home to more than 45 elephants, along with sloth bears and jungle cats. A short distance away, the 7 hills of Saptasajya form a green corridor that elephants use to move between Dhenkanal and Angul. And the forest here hosts more than 120 species of birds. Back in town, step inside Dhenkanal Palace itself, still home to descendants of the royal family, and still the only fort palace standing anywhere in Odisha. Parts of it now open as a heritage homestay, so visitors can actually sleep inside a working royal fort. For a quieter afternoon, the Sapua Reservoir near Hindol, ringed by Sal Forest, is a favorite local picnic spot with boating on the water. A hilltop temple with over 1,000 steps. A fort palace, still lived in by royalty. Artisans casting bronze the way their ancestors did. And a 12-year-old who gave his life for a free India. That, in short, is Dhenkanal. That's Dhenkanal. Comment your district. We cover it next.